right, good evening, folks. It's 5:30 p.m. on October 25th, 2022. This is the regularly scheduled Board of Public Works meeting. We are here in City Council chambers, and also the Zoom link is part of the agenda in the packet for online attendees. Looks like we have just a couple folks online on the Zoom link. And otherwise, I will turn it over to Kyla Cox-Deckard, President, Board of Public Works.
Thank you. I call to order this regular meeting of the Board of Public Works this Tuesday, October 25th, 2022. First up on our agenda, we have messages from board members. Do we have any messages from the board this evening? All right. Next up is petitions and remonstrances. If we have anyone who would like to make a public comment on something that is not on the agenda this evening, now is the opportunity to do so. If you're on Zoom, you're welcome to use the raised hand function or chat, and I see we have someone coming forward for public comment.
Good evening. This is definitely not on the agenda, and it's in fact about an item that was on the agenda and is no longer on the agenda. That is the bird scooter contract. At the work session yesterday, my understanding was that it was going to be pulled off the consent agenda and put on the regular calendar, but now it's not there at all. And I was hoping that maybe someone could provide some insight into why that is, and if it's going to instead appear at the next regularly scheduled Board of Public Works meeting, that would be helpful to know too. Thanks.
Sure, and if you'll just real quickly state your name so that we have it on the record.
I'm sorry, I forgot to do that. Dave Askins with the B Square Bulletin.
Thank you.
And I will, during staff reports, take that up.
Okay, so we'll have an update on during staff reports on that particular item. Next up is the consent agenda. Did we have anything on Zoom? Sorry, I just skipped right over. I don't see anything on the screen, but I don't want to assume. Okay, thank you. Next up on the consent agenda, we have approval of minutes for October 11th of 2022, supplement number 1 to 2022 service agreement with Corson Fire and Security, supplement number 2 to 2022 service agreement with Cummins, Inc., 2023 service agreement with B&L Sheet Metal, 2023 service agreement with Cassidy Electrical Contractors, 2023 service agreement with City Lawn, 2023 service agreement with Corson Fire and Security, contract with Air Technology Solutions for filter change and air filtration units at fire department facilities, service agreement with Vet Environmental, service agreement with Strausser Construction for repair and maintenance services, renewal number 2 with Recollect Digital Recycling Education Software, outdoor lighting service agreement with Duke Energy for Phase 3 of Showers Complex LED conversion project, outdoor lighting service agreement with Duke Energy for intersection of West Allen and South Madison, and approval of payroll. Do we have any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda this evening? Okay. Do we have any public comment on any of the items within the consent agenda? Again, if you're on Zoom, you can use raised hand function or chat function.
No comment on Zoom.
Okay. Seeing none, is there a motion on the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda for tonight's meeting, October 25, 2022. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next up under new business, a request from AEG for lane and sidewalk closures.
Jason Kerr with engineering. Come aboard in front of the board for permits, 4 of them for AEGs, the continuation of the citywide fiber project. The areas include South Park Ridge Road, East Tamron Drive, East Janet Drive, and East Discovery Parkway. This will be inclusive of mobile lane closures and sidewalk closures as the project progresses, of course. And I did have notation from yesterday's work session about work times that was asked about. They are working 8 to 5, but we are under agreement that within school zones they would be 9 to 3, and that'll be put into our actual permit as a provision for them to follow. We did talk to them yesterday about that, and they totally agree with doing that. We're also going to try to get them a map of those school zones so they have that in effect as well.
That's great, thank you. Any questions on this item? Yeah, thanks. That's
Great.
a good update.
Thank you.
Any public comment on this item? All right, seeing none, is there a motion?
I move that we approve the request from AEG for lane and sidewalk closures. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Next, we have change order number 1 to contract with Strausser Construction for lower level renovation at Fire Station number 2.
Good evening, Adam Wason on behalf of J.D. Boroff, our facilities manager. This is a $1,690 change order on the Fire Station number 2 lower level renovation. It will move the contract from $91,800 to $93,490. The reason for the change was they originally specified a wooden window in the south wall, and we changed that just to an aluminum frame, and so that just covered the additional material and labor costs. Happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you. Questions on this item? Okay. Any public comment on this item?
There's no comment on Zoom.
All right, seeing none, is there a motion?
I move that we approve change order number 1 to the contract with Strausser Construction for lower level renovation at Fire Station number 2.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next up, we have staff reports and other business.
Yeah, Adam Wason again, Public Works Director. Just a note to or in response to the inquiry about the scooter renewal for, I think it was Lime tonight, right? Bird, sorry. For Bird this evening being removed from the agenda. After some communications from some city council members and others yesterday about the renewals, city staff in coordination with the mayor's office and legal decided that we were going to pull this from the agenda at this time while we do some further coordination with both the university and the city council. Part of that's going to be some revision or evaluation of some data and a combined conversation with the university and their team that are working on scooter issues. So we're removing that for the time being. They would operate under their current license. We're expecting that hopefully within 2 to 4 weeks, we would have a kind of course of action for all 3 companies. They're all up for renewals about the same time frame here over the next month or so. So we're hoping within the next 2 to 4 weeks, we would bring those back in front of the bring something back in front of the board as after we kind of get our coordination back with the others. So that's where it stands right now, and we're in direct communication with all the companies. As Alex mentioned in yesterday's work session, we're expecting as the temperatures get cooler to see less and less scooters. They'll be lowering their fleets and everything this time of year. It doesn't buy us time, but it allows us some time to, it's going to allow us a longer period over the winter to really dive deeper as well. But we plan to have something back for the board in the next several weeks. Just other real quick staff reports. We are in the process of kind of getting our year end wrapped up. Well, get our year-end appropriation ordinance coordinated with all the different divisions. So that's going forward, a big lift this time of year for Public Works and all the divisions to get that all wrapped up. And then we will, we're doing some downtown alley work with the street department this week, our street division, and we'll be kicking off our leafing season here over the next several weeks, starting in early November. So happy to answer any questions.
I just thought I would note at this time that our next meeting has a slightly different schedule than normal. So we have the work session and the regular meeting on a Monday evening because of Election Day.
I wouldn't expect that we would be back then, but go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, it's very rare, I feel like, that we have a Monday meeting. We've had it a couple times for different reasons, but rarely. So are we here, or do we have to be in another space because we're in conflict? Okay. All right. So just wanted to say that for anyone who might be planning to attend.
From a scheduling perspective, is that Monday work session, I mean, would you let us know if you'd prefer not to have the work session and just do everything in the meeting? If schedules work out better, we can work with you folks on that.
We discussed yesterday
Yeah.
about starting the work session at 4 instead of 3:30.
Yeah, we thought maybe a 4 o'clock.
Probably checked with April before I started speaking about this, so, sorry. We will do what the board would like and make sure we get that properly noticed.
Okay. That sounds great. Thank you so much. And just in response to the question about the scooter item, I know Mr. Askins regularly accesses the packet information and meeting information, but if we could just ensure that he's notified when that does go back on the agenda, just so it doesn't get missed, that would be great.
Absolutely. That's all I have for today.
All right. Next up is approval of claims. Are there any questions on the claims?
None.
Any public comment on claims?
No comment on Zoom.
Seeing none, is there a motion on the claims?
I move that we approve claims in the amount of $433,088.80.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And if there's no other business for tonight, I will call for adjournment.